Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and as you read from the title, I am going to be ranking all of the kills or kill scenes in the Scream franchise. I am super excited for this video. I love doing these ranking videos, and of course I love Scream. I've done similar videos to this in the past, but more in like a top 10 style, so I'll link any of those that I've done before, but this one's actually going to be similar to some of the ranking videos I've done more recently. I go on to Photoshop and just put them on there, you'll see. So let's go ahead and just get into it. Hey, so this is Editing Lizzie, obviously in the process of editing this video, and for whatever reason Photoshop I have the video, but the photo in Photoshop is just plain white. You can't see anything that I'm actually doing on Photoshop. I don't know what happened. I've never had this problem before, but I'm not refilming this because it took me so long in the first place. So I'm just I'll show you guys what it looks like at the end. I apologize. You know, stuff like this happens and it's very frustrating, but you're basically just gonna have me talking about it, and then I will kind of just put up a photo showing what the end result is so you guys can see, because I did luckily save the end product of the ranking so you guys can see that at the end. But I'm so sorry, I know it's unfortunate, but shit happens, so hope that you guys still enjoy this. So this is how we're going to be ranking these. We're gonna, of course, start with the first Scream, and I am just going to be ranking the films. I'm not going to be talking about deaths of the TV show. Maybe that's something I will do separately at another time. But for just the sake of this video, we're going to be just doing the films in the franchise. So the way we're ranking it is unique. That's kind of obvious. So scary, if it's a way that I think would be scary to kind of go out. Funny, because these films are kind of horror comedies at times. Sad, if it's characters that I'm sad about. Don't care if I just didn't care. Overdone, if it's like a death scene or a way of dying that I feel like it's just been overdone. And then boring, which those kind of can, you know, cross lines obviously. But to start, we are going to, of course, start with poor old Steve. For this one's tough. I could put it in the don't care category. I also think it would be a scary way to go out. You think you're just going over to your girlfriend's house, watch a movie, maybe get some, and you end up getting kidnapped. I think it's the first kill of the franchise, so it's definitely an important one, so I don't really necessarily want to say that I don't care. I'm going to put him in so scary. It's the only kind of category I can really think of. Next, of course, we have the iconic scene itself. We have Casey's death. That one is obviously going to go in the unique category because we all know how iconic that opening scene was, especially given, you know, Drew Barrymore being killed off. So we're going to stick her in there. Next, we have our little principal. Him, I feel like it could go in funny just because obviously like that whole scene is kind of comedic. He's getting at these kids for fucking around and pranking and things like that, and then he instantly gets killed. But I think I want to put him in don't care, because I just didn't care that much about his character. We don't really build any sort of relationship to his character, so I'm just gonna put him there. Next, we have poor old Kenny, who just got caught up. He was just trying to do his job. I'm gonna put Kenny in sad, because I love Kenny. So that to me is very much sad death. Next, we have Tatum, everybody's best friend, deserved more. I want to put her scene in unique. I definitely think being killed by a garage door is a unique way to go. Fun fact, I'm sure most of you know this, but if you don't, Rachel McGowan, who of course plays Tatum, actually could fit through the door, so she had to fake it, which I always think is it's really funny. And then we have good old Stu. I mean, I know he's a killer, but peer pressure is a bitch. He gets killed by a TV. It's kind of funny, a little bit. It could also be considered scary, I think, being killed by a TV. It could also be considered unique. I think I'm going to put him in the unique category, because it's definitely an interesting way to go out, that is for sure. And then we have the murderous man himself, Billy. He's just killed by being shot. It's kind of boring, if we're being completely honest. He doesn't die uniquely. I mean, we introduced the double tap, which is, of course, a big staple in the Scream franchise. Something that is used, as we will see as we go along, multiple times. But we're going to just put in boring because it's not that unique. Okay, now on to the kills from Scream 2. So, of course, we have our first kill, which is poor old Phil, just trying to go to the movies. Phil gets stabbed in the ear. Well, kind of being a bit of a creeping Tom. Not really peeping, but he's listening. A little bit had it coming style, but I definitely think it's unique, but I don't want to overpile everything on unique, so I wouldn't necessarily. It's kind of a funny scene, to be honest. Might be controversial. I'm gonna put it in funny. It's a funny opening scene. It's kind of a funny first kill, so we're gonna put him there. Then we have his poor lovely lady Maureen. How you talk? Love her. Love this scene. Definitely scary. Definitely sad. I'm not sure about putting it. I kind of want to put it in unique just because, you know, she's being killed in front of all these people and they all think it's just part of this act. I'm going to put in sad, actually, because that scene always does make me really sad. Like she does such a good job in that scene of just, like, she's, like, crying and it's so over the top and she's just, you can tell, like, she wants somebody to come help her. And it's just a really, actually, very sad death. Next we have, I'm trying to do these in order, but I might not recall exactly specifically. So I think our next one is Cece. Yep. Of course, Sarah Michelle Gellar. She gets her actual death is being thrown off the building. I love this chase scene. It's very reminiscent of Cece's death in the first scene. Not necessarily unique though. I think being alone in the house, that whole when a stranger's calls, feeling very scary. So we're gonna put it in scary because I would be terrified in that moment for sure. We have our poor boyfriend Derek, who gets kind of framed. His is definitely interesting. He's hung up by his frat boys for giving away his letters, but it could be seen as unique. But there is a fellow horror YouTuber who I'll put their information here because I'm drawing a blank. But they've been talking about the horror references in the franchise. And apparently this is a callback to an old film. So it's not super, super unique. But it's not boring. It's not scary. It's not funny. It's kind of sad. Yes, we can put it in sad. I don't really care too much for Derek. I think he was a good boyfriend to Sydney, and that's what makes it really sad. So we're gonna put him in sad. Next, of course, very sad death. I actually might have gotten these ones out of order, but Randy's death. I actually do think Randy needs to go first. That one, of course, is going to go into sad because one always makes me sad. I love Randy. We are the Randys. Next, we have Hallie, her new best friend and roommate. All her friends are dying. Very, very sad. Not necessarily unique, not necessarily scary. We're gonna put her in just kind of boring. She's running, she gets grabbed by Ghostface, she gets stabbed. Nothing super unique about the way she dies, unfortunately. Next we have man himself, Mickey. If I recall correctly, I believe he is just shot. Couldn't really get a good picture of his actual death. But yeah, he's just shot to death. Not super unique. We'll put overdone because it's kind of overdone for the franchise. A little bit, he basically goes out the same way Billy, or really majority of the killers kind of go out the same way, which I think is cool and good. Like, it's a signature way that Scream does, where at least one of the killers just kind of gets shot to death, or all of them, and he's just, again, shot to death. So we're going to put him there. And then we, of course, have Miss Loomis, who, same thing. She basically kind of goes out the same way as her son. She is shot in the throat, though, but again, they double tap it for her. She goes to kind of get up the same way Billy did. And I love that. I love the little callback. But we're going to put her down in boring just because, again, same way that her son did, which is cool, but I mean, I guess they could have put it in overdone at that point, but we'll just, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna move it up to overdone. That is where it's going to live. Okay, and now for Scream 3. This one, I think, probably has the most kills of all of the films. Yeah, it's got quite a bit, so let's go ahead and get into this one. So the first one that we have is, I believe her character's name's Christine. She's Cotton Weary's girlfriend. She gets hunted down by what she believes is Cotton. It is our first introduction to the trickery that Ghostface uses in this film of using voice manipulation. So, very interesting. I know that this film gets a lot of flack. If you are new to the channel, I often defend Scream 3. I know it's the worst out of all of them, but I still don't think it's as bad as people paint it to be. Christine is hunted around the house. It's definitely unique, and it's definitely scary, though. I'm gonna put it in so scary. I think this idea that you think that this person that you love, that you've grown to trust and started to build this life with, is actually a killer, that you didn't think that they were this killer, you know, and they turn out, and you think that they turn out to be, is horrific. Cotton, he's an interesting character. He obviously has not great times. There's a lot of times he's not the good guy, but he's also been through a lot, and I find his death sad, if I'm being honest. I think it makes sense to kill him off in the third film. You know, we don't really need his character to continue on throughout the franchise. He's had his time, but it still made me sad. Because there are so many deaths, I might not do these ones in order either. Next one is Sarah, I believe is her character's name. She is playing the, I guess, newest version of, like, our quote-unquote Cece characters, but her name is Sarah. She is hunted down on the lot by... She's trapped with all these ghost face props, which I love, and she gets killed in the midst of it. I like this scene, but I don't think that it's necessarily... It's not sad. It's not boring. I'm gonna put it in don't care, because I don't care about her character that much. I do think it's interesting, however, that the actress that plays her is also in Scary Movie 3. obviously that one, the first Scary Movie makes fun of Scream a lot, but I just kind of love the fact that she's also in the opening scene of Scary Movie 3, which in my opinion is the best Scary Movie of them all. I think the next death after that is Tyson. May or may not be wrong. I'm pretty sure he's thrown off the building by, he's stabbed and thrown off the building by Roman. I'm just gonna kind of go with boring. It's not a unique death. I'm just gonna put him in there. Because I don't necessarily want to put him in the don't care category. Actually, you know what? I am going to put him in don't care. Because we don't get to know his character that well. Which is disappointing. So he's just going to go plop in there. Next one is Jennifer. Her character is honestly, she is supposed to be our Sydney. She's annoying as hell. She's portrayed as, of course, like this sweet, innocent girl who's really kind of not being, which nothing bad about that. And, yeah, I don't even think she's killed in a bathroom scene. Or she's in the house. I don't even, yeah, I'm pretty sure she makes it to the end house party scene. I think she's just stabbed to death. That's how much I really don't care that much about her character, so I'm putting her in the don't care category, because I can't even really think. And actually, that was Angela. I'm wrong. See, I couldn't even remember her name right. Next one is Jennifer, and I actually like the Jennifer character, which is sad that I got their two names confused. She obviously is meant to be our Gale of this film, and the stab. I love her. I think that her dynamic and Gale's, Courtney Cox's dynamic through this film really makes Scream 3, because obviously, like, Sydney's not in the film as much. For those who don't know, Neve Campbell, there was some filming schedule issues, and she wasn't able to be in this one as much, which to me is just ridiculous. Like, this film was just cursed for so many different reasons, and maybe didn't need to be made, but I still like it, and I love Jennifer's death. I love Jennifer as a character, so she does make me kind of sad when she dies, so I'm gonna put her there. We have Tom, who actually I think dies earlier in the film. He's this little fiery character you see here. He's killed in a fiery death, so we're gonna go ahead and put him in unique. I love that scene. They're like watching pages print out and have to figure out how they're gonna die or who's gonna die next. And it says like whoever can smell the gas first. And Tom is dumb and lights himself on fire. Then next we have Steve, the bodyguard. I'm gonna put him in funny. I feel like that scene's kind of our comedic moment, and meant to be kind of funny. So I'm gonna put him in funny. And then my boy Roman, unpopular opinion. I've talked about this plenty of times before. I actually love Roman. I know the whole kind of like son stepbrother dialogue is a little, it's silly, if we're being honest. It's kind of silly, but I actually love the character of Roman, and I feel very bad for him, and everything that he goes through. And I mean, he needed to die. It was necessary. But it's hard for me to think of where to put him, because again, necessary, but it is still sad. Him and Sydney are like holding hands, and they have this intense moment, and it's a sad moment for everybody involved. So I'm putting him in sad. Now on to Scream 4. This one actually might give Scream 3 a run for its money in the kill category as far as amount. There's quite a lot in this one too, which I kind of forgot about. But we're gonna start, of course, with, I'm not including the like opening like fake deaths in this one. I'm really just talking about the ones that are actual like real kills in the film, because obviously Scream 4 is like movie within a movie in the first couple, like, kills and deaths, and I love the opening scene for Scream 4, but we're not going to tackle those characters because they don't really count. So sorry, we're just talking about the actual characters, or this list would be way too long. So we have our first one, which is Jenny Randall. Her death takes after Tatum's, which I love that. I love that callback. Because of that, I don't necessarily want to put it in the unique category though, because it does copy off of Tatum's. So I'm just gonna put it in I don't necessarily want to put it in overdone or boring. I needed like another extra category, I feel like, for this. But we're just gonna put it in overdone because it had obviously been done before. And then after that, we have her best friend, Marnie, who gets just thrown through a window, stabbed. We don't really see her die. We know she is chased through the house. She's thrown through a window. We're gonna just put her in the, like, I guess boring category, just because it's not much to her death. Again, we don't see it, so we're just gonna, she can hang out there. Yeah. And then after that, again, I'm trying to like keep our timeline correct, but I'm not gonna have all these correct. So I think after that, I want to say, I think the cops get killed next. So you have Ross and you have Anthony. Ross is played by Adam Brody, who I love, but he gets stabbed in the back while talking about how cops die in films. I think him and Ross's death can both, or Anthony's death, which I love the fact that his character's name is Anthony Perkins, because obviously psycho. We're gonna put them both in funny. It's kind of a funny scene. And obviously, like, Anthony's death is, like, so dramatic. And if you haven't watched the bloopers for Scream 4, I highly suggest checking them out. I'm pretty sure you can just find them on, like, YouTube. He's, like, so fucking over the top, and I love it. So then we have Olivia, I believe, dies next. I love her scene. It is so good. It is probably one of the best, I think, in the entire franchise. It's so over the top. It's, like, so angry. Like, clearly this killer was angry at her. And, I mean, she gets, like, tossed out the window at one point, and she's just, it's very reminiscent to the anger pointed at Cece in the first one. So I'm gonna go with unique, because I love that scene. And I think it definitely is. And then I think Rebecca is her next victim after that. She is killed in the garage scene, which is really good. She's obviously thrown off the building. I love that scene, and I'm going to put it in terrifying because to me, that would be so scary. Like, there's just already something really creepy about being in, like, a parking garage, especially alone. I live in Vegas, so obviously, like, any hotels, casinos, things like that you go to, parking garages, they're just creepy. So I'm gonna put that in scary, because to me, that would be terrifying. And I always forget that that actress is in this film, because she's so different in this one. I feel like she's always leans more towards comedy, and I just always forget that that's her in this film. So yeah, we're gonna go with that one. Next, we're gonna go with Kate. I believe she is the next victim on the list, and hers, in my opinion, is very sad. She is Sydney's aunt, so she has been through so much. She lost her sister, and you know, there's a scene where she's talking about her own scars, more so mentally, but I definitely think hers is very, very sad, and especially because Sydney has to watch it happen. Next, we have Robbie, who is like our Randy character in the us of the film. I love him. I could categorize his as sad, but I'm also going to categorize it as funny because he does make jokes when he's dying, and which is just very Robbie style, and I love it. So I'm going to put his, even though it is sad, it's also funny, so I'm going to put it under funny. Next one that was never actually confirmed. Even Wes Craven himself said, and I believe that he wanted her to come back in the 5th film, and we'll see, because there were rumors the actress that played her cut her hair. There is definitely the possibility that Kirby could still be alive. I love the scene. Obviously, it's very much reminiscent of the opening scene from the first Scream. Doesn't necessarily make it unique. But if we're going off of the belief that she is dead, I'm going to put it in sad. Because I don't want Kirby to be sad. I love her. Next, we have Trevor, who dies, who is, of course, Jill's boyfriend. Don't really care that much about him. I love the actor that plays him. He is in Younger, and I think he's a great actor, and I really like the actor that plays him, but don't care that much about his character. So we're going to put him in the don't care category, because I really don't care that much. Next, we have Charlie, who is supposed to be like our Stu of it. Again, the scene basically just copies from the first one. We're just gonna let him kind of hang out in the, like, overdone category, because it's not necessarily boring. It's a really good death. And I'm not really that sad about Charlie dying, because obviously he's a killer, and he's kind of horrible. So we're gonna let him hang out there, because it is basically copying from the first one. And I don't really know where else to put it. That's why I should have had another category for just like a whatever category. And then of course we have Jill, who I used the scene of the clear and her being zapped, but she actually is shot. Again, double tapped it, but even though you could put that in overdone, because again, it's the scream and the double taps, I'm actually going to put it in unique just because I love the clear moment and that stuff, and I love that scene, so I'm putting it up in unique. I think that was definitely I mean, it could be put in funny as well, but I'm going to put it in unique because I really like that scene. So there you go. That is my ranking for every kill scene, death scene in all 4 Scream films. Now this was a long one. It's going to be fun to edit, but I hope that you guys did enjoy this. So let me know your thoughts on this. What are, I guess, your favorite kills in the franchise? Where would you put some of these, I guess? Let me know all of that in the comments below. If you did enjoy this, please do give it a big old thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more horror-related content, and I'll see you guys again later with another video. Bye!